Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Police arrested 12 people in connection to the Agrokor case today. Among those arrested are Ljerka Puljic, long considered to be the right hand of Agrokor founder Ivica Todorić, Damir Kuštrak, a longtime senior manager in the concern, Mislav Galić, Agrokor's former executive vice president, Tomislav Lučić, a former member of Agrokor's supervisory board, Piruška Canjuga, a former member of Agrokor's board of directors, and Ivan Crnjac, who was responsible for the concern's finances.
It is all based on the audit report, irregularities in the books, falsified balances in documents. So basically everything that was already public knowledge. It is too early to say if these claims against my client are serious or not. The charges pertain to a period going back a few years. The fact that they entered homes at 6 in the morning searching for evidence when this case is common knowledge throughout Europe leads me to believe that this is more about form rather than substance.
Police also searched the Todorić family residence today, but were greeted only by his children's lawyers. Ivica Todorić and his children, all of whom were senior managers in Agrokor, are believed to be in London. Their lawyers say they will make themselves available to the relevant state institutions.
My client relocated to London for business reasons because he found employment outside of Croatia.
Meanwhile, the state prosecutor's office has confirmed that a criminal investigation into 15 people for white-collar crime is underway. The office notes that it is based on months of preliminary investigation and verified facts.
The criminal charges have most likely already been prepared. The suspect's statements will be of little relevance, as it is clear that the authorities have gathered enough evidence with which they feel they can take this case to court. They will most likely approach the court with a request to remand the suspects to investigative custody.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković was restrained in his comments on today's arrests.
As the Prime Minister, I have no intention of commenting on the details of any process being led by the police, state prosecutor's office, or which will later end up in court proceedings. What I want to emphasize once again, given that the issue is too important for Croatian politics, Croatian society, and all Croatian citizens, is that the government reacted in the only way possible, and that was to act responsibly. And in its communication with the public, it never, absolutely never wanted to contribute to pulling down the company's rating, but also not to destabilize Croatia's position on financial markets.
This morning's arrests have left many wondering what will become of Parliament's investigative commission into Agrokor. The HDZ says it wants to avoid any overlap with the ongoing criminal investigation. However, opposition parties say it is important to establish political responsibility for the crisis. Here's what opposition leaders had to say about today's arrests.
The worst thing that could happen for Croatia is that we have another soap opera without any result, and in which those responsible are left untouched. If we had waited, if there hadn't been most and charges filed, this day would never have come. The very same people would continue to retrograde Agrokor and the entire Croatian economy. If you announce to someone for more than a month that you plan on arresting him, it is to be expected that he will destroy all of the relevant evidence. And this entire spectacle of arrests at 6 in the morning have absolutely no sense at all. If all of Agrokor's directors are sanctioned, but the political context which created these directors and this company remain, we will have a new Agrokor in 10 years' time.
Prime Minister Plenković rejected opposition claims that he and members of his cabinet were culpable in the Agrokor case.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as the HDZ is concerned, as far as the government is concerned, obviously it is more than just in our interest to untangle this entire story to the smallest detail, because that is healthy, good, and even hygienic for Croatian society. And it is all the same to me whether we do this through the parliamentary commission established a few days ago, or perhaps before some other body. That is entirely irrelevant.
Agriculture Minister Tomislav Tolušić also rejected attempts by the opposition, specifically SDP MP Gordan Maras, to blame the HDZ for Agrokor's demise.
This is not a case of something happened in Agrokor in these past 6 months or 1 year. This has been going on for the past 15 to 20 years. And now all those people who knew this, who approved loans from the Croatian Bank for Reconstruction and Development some 4 or 5 years ago, such as Mr. Maras and similar characters, now they have 20/20 hindsight and are amazed that something went wrong. It was clear that something was not right in 2010, and most likely in 2005 as well.
Meanwhile, the president of the Croatian Chamber of Economy said that while the arrests were to be expected, it was important now to not lose sight of Agrokor's future.
Even institutions must do their jobs, each with their own purview. What is much more important right now is to look to the future, to continue with the consolidation of business operations, to pay off outstanding debts, and to implement the financial and operational reorganization of the concern.
In other news, a two-day meeting of the European People's Party opened in Zagreb today. The focus of the meeting is on preparations for the 2019 elections for European Parliament. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković's HDZ is a member of the EPP, which is the largest bloc in European Parliament.
Today's meeting and the messages regarding the future of the European project and existing challenges, which we will discuss in Brussels on Thursday and Friday at the European Council, was an excellent opportunity to exchange ideas.
To explain to the people of Europe that there are difficult choices, but that populism either on the left or the right, while playing to the gallery, will not provide the solutions that our people in Europe need.
EU foreign ministers, including Croatia's Marija Pejčinović-Burić, have called on Bosnia and Herzegovina to respect the ruling of its constitutional court, which deemed the current model for electing representatives to parliament unconstitutional. The ministers are calling on Sarajevo to accelerate election reforms, which will ensure the equality of all three constituent peoples, Croats, Muslims and Serbs. The Croatian Football Federation announced today that Zlatko Dalić will stay on as the national team coach for the team's 2 additional qualification matches for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Dalić assumed the reins from Ante Čačić, who was sacked after a series of poor performances that left the team second in Group I. Croatia will find out its opponent for the additional round of qualification tomorrow. And now the forecast for tomorrow. Predominantly sunny with morning fog in the interior and on the northern Adriatic. Winds will be mild inland with a mild to moderate northwesterly on the coast. Morning lows of 4 to 9 degrees Celsius in the interior, 12 to 16 on the Adriatic, will give way to highs of 19 to 25 degrees, slightly higher in the Dalmatian hinterland. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for predominantly sunny skies with morning fog on Wednesday. Mountainous regions will see increased cloud cover and a chance of some intermittent rain on Friday. The coast will see predominantly sunny skies and pleasantly warm temperatures. The northern coast could see some morning fog on Wednesday, moderate cloud cover on Thursday, and intermittent rain on Friday. There will be a moderate to strong southeasterly going into the weekend. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.